And then he said, glistening like wet leather.
Oh!
And we just couldn't hold it in anymore. It went everywhere.
Oh!
It went everywhere.
Glistening like wet leather.
Much like the red weed.
Oh!
But it wasn't red, because if it was, we'd have asked for a physician. Welcome, boys, and whatever percentage of the audience is made up of the female genre. The female genre.
The female genre.
The female genre. We know you're out there, but you ain't registered on YouTube. So, as for now, welcome everyone to the apparent sausage fest.
Please, let's have some more.
Please. We need some more girls in here. There's too many men. Too many men. Too many men.
For a podcast that talks a lot about diversity, we are terribly white.
Yeah, that's not our fault. Maybe it's just something about orange and yellow letters that makes people go, "Oh, I'm a man and I want to hear that."
They are MRA colours. There's been some rumbling recently as well about the incel community. Have you come across incels before?
No, what?
Yeah, it's a particular subculture of, shall we say, confused men who call themselves involuntarily celibate. And it's basically dudes who can't
get any
probably because they have severe social or interpersonal issues, or they're just dicks.
Wait, hang on. So are they self-branding, or are they being branded from outside? They're self-branding.
Yeah, there's been a couple of subreddits that have actually been closed down because they're so toxic.
So they're saying, "Oh, no, I'm incel. I'm incel.
Yeah,
that's fine. I'm totally cool with that."
No, they're not totally cool with it. They're very bitter and angry at women.
Oh, for Christ!
Dehumanizing.
That's where I was going to say, because why would they categorize themselves as people who can't get a little thumbing unless there's an enemy that they've invented, and the enemy is women, not understanding them? Jog on and grow up. Hey, you know the fact that you've decided you hate women because you can't seem to apparently get a girlfriend? Maybe that's the attitude that's stopping you from even connecting with anyone enough to get a girlfriend.
Yeah.
Just, people are shit.
People are shit.
Speaking of people and shit, I'm Chris.
And I am very true. Very, very true. So true.
You're big and dank.
Big, dank, and cast.
I think some people are disappointed that last week's episode released on 420 wasn't about the green. But
we talk about Swamp Thing all the time.
Hey!
What?
Meat.
No, vegetables.
Now that you're all on the second-hand high of the Big Dank cast, welcome. This week's pretty easy going, pretty laid back.
Yeah, because we can't see Infinity War before we record, so we've kind of got nothing to talk about.
Yeah, we're going to chat a bit about the lead up to it and everything.
Yeah.
And when are we both seeing it? I think we're both seeing it on the Friday night. Is that right?
Yeah, so the day after this comes out, we'll be seeing it.
Unless you're on YouTube, in which case we're in the cinema right now.
I actually paid some money, and I'm going to see this on IMAX 3D.
You beauty! I think we're already in Limitless in it, and just sneaking into a Friday showing. We would see it tomorrow night, but Lou's work, we've got a longer stock day. It's like one of those ones you do once in a blue moon. Where you just get a bunch more stuff in. So they're open till 9, and she's gonna want to go to bed.
You know how much it would have cost me if I didn't have Limitless to see it in IMAX 3D?
Go on.
£21.
How much did Limitless get you off?
It's only costing me $6.60.
That's not bad, man.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, see, I forgot there was some IMAX.
But it would have cost me £21 without Limitless.
Not to narrow in on where we live, the creepy stalkers out there, but I'm guessing it's the that one.
At the one shopping centre that should not be named.
Yeah,
because it is hell and damnation. It's a cesspool of retail nightmare.
It's a wretched hive of scum and villainy.
I tried to watch this series that's just come on Netflix called Rostered On, which is an Australian, independently produced sitcom about working in retail. And I'd seen clips of it on YouTube and was like, oh, I'll have to see that when it comes out.
I think I've seen this, like tech stores and things like that.
Yeah. And it was, because it was floating around for ages, and then Netflix had picked it up for international distribution. And I got through the first episode, and I just couldn't watch anymore. Because it
was unfunny, or because it was too real?
Because it's brilliant. And it's so real that it's painful. My girlfriend continued to watch it and watched it all, and apparently it's just soul crushing.
Yeah.
Because it's so accurate.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's what I did this week.
It is to retell what, like, Toast of London and I'm on Partridge is to acting.
Yeah, but less... simultaneously less and more ridiculous.
I can't remember which one. I've seen a clip where someone tries to return, I think it's like a toaster or something.
In the first episode, it's a camera.
It's a camera, and she's got no receipt.
She's got no receipt, no box. She thinks it's faulty because she doesn't know how to use it.
Yeah.
And there's the whole thing of like, oh, well, I need to... This Australian says like, oh, I can't return it, there's no receipt. And she's like, I need to talk to them. Oh, sorry, I've spilled coffee on your carpet.
That's right.
I want to talk to your manager. And he's like, all right, well, oh no. I can't put this coffee anywhere. Hang on. So he goes and talks to his manager, and his manager's like, yeah, just return it. Keep him happy. So then he has to go out and fucking talk about, like, go and say, oh, we'll return it just this once. And then she has to go at him. So then he fucking explodes at her.
Why?
And then he has to do a disciplinary meeting because he exploded at this dickhead customer. And then the guy in inventory won't return it for him.
Oh, Jesus.
So the boss told him to return it, and the guy in inventory won't do it because he's got no receipt or box.
Oh, Christ.
So it's like, and yeah, it's that. It's that.
Some things about the world of retail, and specifically like the management and like practices, not so much stuff necessarily related to the shop floor or to dealing with customers. Some of that stuff just strikes me as odd. Like, someone we know once worked somewhere where an employee was very clearly stealing something that the customers were leaving there.
Yeah.
And it was obvious based on, like, when that employee was in the building and when the things went missing and the fact they were the ones dealing directly with the customers in certain situations that led to them getting hold of these things. And this stuff just started to go missing. But because they didn't do anything directly on a camera, the place couldn't fire them.
Because they're not.
Because then they could be like, right, I'm going to sue you for thingy. But at the same time, like, you just wish they got right, you're fired.
I'll sue.
Like,
sue. Yes, I'm going to sue.
I'll sue. Sue. Yes, I'm going to sue you.
It's kind of good, though, because if they could just turn around and fire you on the spot, I would have been out of a job several times over the last couple of years.
Yeah, but you do tend to bring the bodies of your victims to work.
Well, just get you in trouble.
The reason it doesn't get you in trouble is because they can't tell necessarily if you killed them. Because you just bring the body to work.
Yeah, I just found this outside.
I mean, you say...
Does this belong to you?
You admit to them directly, but because they don't have any on-camera proof that you committed them...
And no one believes me.
Yeah.
They're like, oh,
it's the perfect
you
crime.
wouldn't hurt a fly.
It's the perfect crime.
It's like, no, I murdered this person.
You're right, I wouldn't hurt a fly. I get on with the flies. The flies are my friends.
I felt their warm blood gush over my hands as I tore their throat out. I killed this person. Like, but why don't you believe me?
We don't have it on camera.
And also, you're so nice.
Oh, God.
You can't!
Hang on. He came in this work with a little black twiddly moustache and an eye patch and a top hat and a cloak.
No, that was
Maybe
my mirror
he's evil
universe
now.
self.
Ah, right. Well, you can't discriminate.
It's from the Inferno universe.
You can't...
They were all wearing eye patches.
Which one is it? Yeah. Was it Doctor Who's eye patch is your evil counterpart?
Yeah.
Star Trek's moustache or beard. Yeah.
Or no beard if you're Riker.
Oh, no beard.
Which means you're either in the mirror universe or the lackluster first season of Next Generation.
Well,
it is lackluster first season.
It is not its strongest season,
It gets better, like, by fucking orders of magnitude when Riker grows a beard.
Are you saying that's the turning point?
Yeah! Like, is this good Next Generation? Does Riker have a beard? Maybe. Is Riker in it?
You need to develop...
No, it's not good. It's not good Star Trek.
You need to develop a watch list, like, playlist thing. Because, like, ages ago, when Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. came out, I watched the first 3 episodes and I went, this is fine. It's not for me, but I'm glad it exists. And then, like, a year later on Amazon Prime, on Amazon Video...
Yeah.
You said to me, you got Amazon Video, I was like, yeah, you went, right, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Series 1, skip to episode 18 and just watch those last, 5.
Which is a horrible thing to have to tell someone.
I know, but I did.
Skip all of this
and
series.
I thoroughly enjoyed them.
Yeah.
It was the Lady Sif episode, and then the 4 episodes dealing with the Hydra reveal.
Yeah.
And it was really good TV. And I was like, oh, this is great!
But so much of it up to that point was just fucking filler.
You know, I'm gonna get it now, because the Trafford Centre, and I think the HMV in central Manchester, have got a deal on the minute for some of their things.
Uh-oh.
Not the usual shelf deal, where they've just done it specific pockets.
Oh, yeah.
One of them's on the Marvel DVD, Marvel Blu-rays. I think
the
it's
Marvel Cinematographic Universe.
Yeah, I think it's $11.99 each, or 2 for £15. So I'm going to pick up Agent Carter Season 2 and Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Season 1.
Yeah.
And while I'm at it, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Season 2 and 3. Because then I can just dip in and out at my leisure to see what I want to watch.
I think it's all on Prime now.
I think £30 for 4 seasons of television is pretty good.
I think the first 4 seasons are on Prime now.
If they're back on Prime, I won't bother. And I'll just get Agent Carter Season 2, because Hayley Atwell. But,
who also came out recently and was like, yo...
she came out, damn it.
No!
That's it. Fund my sex change operation, guys. I'm
opening
opening up a tip jar.
During an interview, she said that she didn't want to stop doing Agent of Carter.
Agents
of Carter.
Well, technically.
Marvel didn't want to stop doing Agent Carter.
Oh.
ABC
were the ones who pulled the plug.
Basically said, we think we'll make more money out of you if you're in your other show that we do with you. Like the legal procedural that didn't do it.
So there's every chance they could bring back Agent Carter then, if they put a sensible.
But they said we're not going to do any more Agent Carter, we're going to put you in this instead and focus on this.
Does Series 2 end in like this is the end of the story for now kind of vibe? Because obviously we know her story doesn't end in Season 2 because we know like her involvement in Ant-Man, and we see her in Winter Soldier and her pivotal off-screen role in Civil War.
Season 2 certainly leaves some threads not picked up that I'd like to see.
Because I watched Season 1. I dug Season 1. I mean, it's really cool.
Like, Season 2 has the MCU version of Madam Mask.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm down with that.
And some other bits and pieces which are cool.
Who's the guy at the end of Series 1 that I'm thinking of? The bloke who manipulates minds. Or was that Season 2? A bit. I've seen like an ep of Season 2.
That's Season 1. It's like the Hydra dude.
I'm trying to remember his name. He's based on a character, and it's... Oh, God.
Yeah.
Quick, stall. Play me off, Johnny.
Dr. Mind! Is it Dr. Mindbender?
Dr. Mind... Is it Dr. Faust?
Yes!
Is that what it is?
Yes, it is Dr. Faust.
There it is. I didn't even get to the Wikipedia. Woo! You said Dr. Mindbender. I was just like,
no.
Dr. Faust!
That's a Rick Remender Captain America film.
Yeah.
Dr. Mindbender.
Dr. Mind...
Because...
Holes.
Of course.
Doctor, put this in your mind.
Those are my mind holes.
Well, speaking of Rick Remender...
yes, I was wondering how we were going to get onto that.
Yeah, and Rick Remender is responsible for making me continue to care about a character, or at least half of that character and a concept, longer than my body or mind would care to.
Which half of the character, the butt or the pecs? Or do you like your characters divided laterally?
Oh my god. You're getting all Cenobite on me here.
Vertical slice.
Oh god. Rick Remender wrote a very successful and interesting new take on the Marvel character Venom. About
Lies!
8 years ago? Oh, it was great.
No, 2011.
Oh, not far. It's been a while then.
Yeah.
Been a while.
It was just before Marvel Now.
It's been a while.
Maybe like a year before Marvel Now.
Yeah. Well, basically,
it crosses over with Spider Island in the first few issues.
So Venom, for those who don't know, is a Spider-Man villain created in the late 80s who was a mix of a couple things. Spidey had a sentient alien costume that lived on his body after an event called Secret Wars, the first one. And it was basically a costume that replicated his powers and gave him new powers like unlimited organic webbing, and it could chameleonize a bit, change his face so he could look different and blend in.
It had a symbiotic relationship with him.
Symbiotic. Rhymes with idiotic.
One might describe it as a symbiote.
Oh, Christ. Alongside that was a reporter working, I think, at a different paper and then the Daily called Eddie Brock, who was a bit of a cutthroat reporter, was always trying to get the scoops, but was a bit of a slime ball. Wasn't above like leaving people in the lurch or in horrible situations.
He didn't play it straight.
Doctoring shit. Yeah, it's like he obviously set out with a hunger to get stories, and the idea of becoming a star reporter overtook the notion of being a decent human being.
Hunger, I want it so bad I can't taste it.
Is that the soundtrack to your 80s Venom movie?
No, that's the soundtrack to Transformers.
It should be the soundtrack to your 80s Venom movie.
Yes, it should be.
I mean, that's the power ballad right there. That's the sexy power ballad.
I'm hungry.
See, it works. Spider-Man and this black costume thing part ways when Spidey finds out that it's essentially like leeching off of his life force. And...
It's conscious uncoupling.
Yeah, there you go. It's oh god, it's the Martin Paltrow of the 80s.
The Martin.
At the same time, Peter Parker is basically the top of Eddie Brock's hit list as a shit biscuit, and Spider-Man is, and he hates him.
Absolute arse nugget.
The two find each other, and for a while, the comics do this wonderful thing where there is an unseen enemy, because we don't exactly know that it's them yet.
Yeah.
There is someone stalking Spidey, prepping himself to take him on, someone who's like harassing his loved ones and meddling in his life quietly from afar. And then eventually...
Adric!
No. Sorry, that text tone was amazing. I thought it was the start of... what's it? Under the Sea.
Oh yeah, to the point where every time it goes off, Keats hums the rest of that melody, and I just want to die.
It's a great song. Come on,
it's a great song.
It's Alan Menken era, isn't it?
Every time my tablet makes a noise, it goes.
That's right.
And then she just, no matter where she is in the flat, she just goes.
Oh, I mean, and
I'm just...
That's like Lou's text tone used to be, have a lovely day, from Home Alone 2.
I know.
Lost in the I used to...
cheese pizza.
I love you.
Oh, man.
I used to send a text from up here just to hear it downstairs.
I'm going to see if there's a Tim Curry soundboard. Carry on.
So, eventually this villain reveals itself. It is a merger of Brock and the symbiote called Venom. And
symbiote.
In the late 80s, it was basically the ideal Spidey villain, because it was a dark Spider-Man. It had the cool black costume that he'd been wearing when he had the symbiote as part of his body, so a big white spider on his chest. But it was also the 80s, so it was kind of gnarly, so it had like teeth and these big white eyes. And Venom's popularity blew up in the late 80s. He was like the Spider-Man villain that everybody adored. Specifically kids who were into gnarly, bodacious, cool stuff. Man, you can keep your Dr. Octopus, you old twat, you old geezer. This is Spider-Man, man. And Venom's popularity continued into the 90s because of Toy Biz and the toys they used to make of Venom. Venom got his own spin-off at one point, his own miniseries, Lethal Protector, and War of the Symbiotes, and he got a spin-off villain from himself, Carnage, who just kept up the gnarly and dark and broody and psycho edge that Spider-Man's villains were all taking in the 90s for some reason. Good. Because the 90s villains were all about either being mysterious and spooky or ultra gnarly and cool, dude. Do you remember there was an obsession with like the Scryer and Judas Traveller and people like that? Remember Judas Traveller? Fucking hell.
Spider-Man got really bad.
And the Jackal became like a weird sort of Joker, Green Goblin hybrid-looking mother trucker, and it was just like, what is this?
Yeah, and then the Clone Saga happened.
Yeah, so Venom his popularity disappeared, but he was in the hearts of a lot of 80s and 90s kids. Like, I don't know about you, but I definitely grew up loving Venom as a Spidey villain. I thought he was really cool. He wasn't my favourite. I always preferred Green Goblin overall, because I liked the idea of that, businessman by day and no one suspects a damn thing, and at night he's this psycho who's like flying around throwing stuff and up to evil schemes, and he's screwing with his own family.
So many schemes. So many schemes.
But Venom was still fascinating and interesting, and especially when I started to draw, Venom was like my favourite.
I've seen some of your Venom drawings.
Are you?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Some of the sexy ones.
Oh, not the dirty Venom.
The sexy ones you sell under the table at cons.
But I flip the table upside down.
You sell it in between.
So that I sell them under the table, but my genitals are just like...
You sell it in between...
My genitals are what greet the customer.
In between two backing boards.
Dirt.
Behind a copy of X-Men #1 from 1991.
But anyway...
Which is cheaper than the boards.
Oh, God. But I like to draw Venom, and I do think there's stuff in there that's interesting. In the 2000s, there was some interesting Venom stories. The problem was, Venom belongs to the 90s.
Yes.
that's why if you're going to tell more stories of Venom, you have to change him. So in the Marvel Knights run that Mark Millar did, that then span off into the events of...
Sorry, who wrote that?
Mark Millar!
That's an apt
That then span into the events of Dark Reign and Siege and everything and Dark Avengers.
Yes.
Eddie Brock decides, because he's a religious guy, he decides, I'm going to get rid of this thing, it's caused more harm than good. Like, it's not my place anymore. My cancer is back, which I believe was part of his original story, wasn't it? He was diagnosed with something, and he knew he was dying.
Yeah.
But like the symbiote kept it at bay, and now he was like, "No, I'm gonna die a natural death. I'm gonna let this happen. Like, I'm not gonna sin anymore." Blah blah. So he sells the symbiote to a villain auction, basically.
Yes.
I'm not gonna harm anyone anymore. You guys can go for it.
Yeah. I'm out.
And a mobster buys it for his son, so that his son can actually have a bit of a legacy, because he's a bit of a snivelling git. And then I think he's called Angelo. And then he wears it like once, and the symbiote rejects him mid-fight with Spider-Man, because it's like, you haven't got the Venom, and it just leaves his body mid-leap between two buildings, and Angelo plummets to his death, which is great. And then the symbiote joins up with Matt Gargan, who was the Scorpion.
Yes.
And basically becomes, he's the new
Venom.
Venom.
That was Venom for like a big chunk of...
5 or 6 years, yeah.
Yeah.
Marvel Knights Spidey's like 2005?
That was Venom through Civil War and... Secret Invasion and all that stuff.
Yeah, and Dark Reign, and then Siege, and then shortly after that, before the end of that run is the Spidey story, New Ways to Die, where Osborn and his Dark Avengers head to meet with Spider-Man.
Dark Avengers.
And
he must have known there was something going on.
Well, during that story, Eddie Brock got involved, and Anti-Venom was created, so Eddie Brock had like a reverse version of the symbiote as part of his body now, and was completely in control of it.
Oh, yeah.
La la la.
Anti-Venom.
Eventually the symbiote gets discarded from Gargan after the events of... I think it's after a siege, isn't it? Like all the evil Avengers like Bullseye and Gargan and everyone are all like apprehended. And, because that eventually leads into like the Thunderbolts revamp and all that stuff.
Yeah.
But the symbiote is taken away from Gargan, like it is stripped from him and taken away. Gargan's Venom was very much like the Eddie Brock Venom in that he was teeth and, I'm going to eat you and stuff, but we actually saw him do that shit because he was a nasty piece of work.
Oh, yeah.
There's a bit where he's tormenting someone in the Dark Reign Spider-Man, Sinister Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Where he just rips a guy's arms off and eats one of them in front of him. It's just like, oh, shit!
It's some terrible, like, Z-list villain as well, isn't it?
I think it's a guy who's dressed like a wolf or something. Yeah.
Coyote?
It might be, yeah. Oh,
something like
Christ.
that.
It is not pleasant.
It's been so long since I've read Sinister Spider-Man.
But people at this point, like, what kept Venom fresh for the 2000s was because, the idea of, it's on a different person. So the training wheels are off. This isn't a lethal protector. This isn't a dude who would rather not be a bad guy who just hates Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Like, this is a legitimate threat who is, like, the symbiote enjoys the psycho it's attached to. This is interesting. And then they're split apart. And then Rick Remender comes along and keeps it fresh for longer, because then Flash Thompson, Spider-Man's once upon a time bully, who went on to become a military soldier.
Thompson.
No, Eugene Thompson.
Flash
went to Afghanistan and fought over in Iraq and like basically did service for the country. Was gravely wounded, but managed to recover. However, he lost his legs in an explosion. Like, his legs were gone, but he was alive and thankful, and he felt useless. He felt like he couldn't do anything anymore.
Yeah.
Like, he wanted to, serve his country. And this Black Ops team get in touch, and they're like, we know what you wish you could do. We can give it to you.
We know who you are in the dark.
And they employ him. What was that noise? I don't know. That was weird. Someone just fell over in the room.
It's
not a symbiote, is it?
Yeah.
It's a symbiote.
The symbiote.
Oh, not the symbiote.
That symbiote bastard!
You heard that, right?
I heard that. I think
that was really strange.
A door just came open, that's all.
Oh, right, okay. Sorry, that was really odd. I thought we'd let the cats out, and we have. It's a ghost.
No, it's dear David.
It's dear David. Sorry, team. Anyway, I could pause and edit that, but I shan't, because it's more entertaining. And shit.
And also, we're really lazy.
So Flash Thompson is basically given access to Project Venom.
Yes.
And the idea is that, hey, we've got this thing, we've been electroshocking it and tampering with it as much as possible. We're going to turn it, basically, into an all-purpose suit for a special ops unit.
We've got this angry alien slime, and we've been really pissing it off.
Yeah. but also doping it up to fuck.
Yeah.
So as angry as it gets, it's still going to do what we say because that's all it knows now.
Mm-hmm.
So it's put on Flash to do reconnaissance missions and assassinations and stuff. Obviously gives him back legs because it's part of it. It makes you more than what you are in terms of enhancing your physical strength, and in this case also giving him back his legs and everything for those missions.
Yeah.
But he couldn't tell anyone about it because it was like secret ops stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And also he couldn't wear it for longer than an hour. At the hour mark, they immediately recall you and remove it from your body.
Is it an hour or is it 24 hours?
I think at first it's an hour. Because the idea was they don't want it to be bonded for too long and get a feel.
I'm sure it's
and then they
24
extend
hours.
the period. Oh no, that's it. No, they try it after that. It's 24 because there's a thing where he ends up cut off from everybody and he has to basically survive with it on, and it's obviously becoming more and more aware of what's happening, and it's like, oh shit, like, you and me, like, let's bond. Let's do it. He's like, no, that's not what I want. And because the thing, of course, naturally over time, the alien becomes a lot more aggressive and starts to act out.
Yeah.
But it was an interesting story because it meant that you had a lead character who was a good person, who idolised Spider-Man growing up, like when he was in his high school years. He idolised Spider-Man. He's now leading that Spider-Man double life because no one can know what he's doing. Some of the government people involved have his best intentions at heart. Some of them really do not. He's wearing essentially a ticking time bomb that won't blow up, but might merge with him and never leave him alone again.
It'll probably blow up.
That too. He got his own Green Goblin. Jack-O-Lantern became a prominent character in the series.
Yes.
And he's used really well when Remender's writing it. He's proper creepy.
Human Fly's in an issue as well, isn't there? Which is really...
Yeah. Shit. Oh god, there's some good stuff in there. It works really well.
There is. There is.
Now, I haven't followed much of Venom beyond the end of Remender's run.
No.
I know he got involved with...
I read Circle of Four.
I think I read the first volume of Thunderbolts that he was involved in.
Yeah.
Circle of Four, I think, is one of the last arcs, isn't it?
Circle
It's
of
the one with
Four-
Ghost Rider and stuff.
I don't remember if it's the last Remender arc or the first
Quick
Column
Peek,
1 arc. But it's like, it's him and the...
Oh, yeah, you're right. No, yeah, Circle of Four is the start of the Cullen Bunn run.
Yeah.
The Cullen Bunn run.
Cullen Bunn,
Which is very good as well.
It's him and Red Hulk and X-23 and the then...
Female Ghost Rider.
New Ghost Rider, who's now the old new Ghost Rider because we've got a new Ghost Rider.
Yeah, the old and mostly forgotten Ghost Rider,
new Ghost Rider who drives cars, and he's going to be on the Avengers when Jason Aaron takes over it.
I'm down
and
with that.
I have seen a...
The Avengers are here, and oh my god, what is that?
I have seen a panel of Captain America in the back of the Ghost Rider's car driving away from something horrible. Do
you think Captain America will pretend to be sick, get out of the car, and then steal it off Ghost Rider?
Fucking hell. Do you think Captain America will have rubber ears on his mask?
I hope so.
Because these real ears can't poke through.
90s. Oh god. So...
Do you think he'll be the son of J.D. Salinger?
So, interesting stuff. If you don't know what we're talking about, don't look it up.
No, do.
Do. Italian Red Skull, anyone? So, and I know a bit about beyond that. I know that he joined the Guardians briefly. I read at least one of the stories where he was on the Guardians, and because his book was rebranded Venom Space Knight.
He was a Space Knight for a while.
Which is a cool idea. Again, it was Flash Thompson, like, out there doing cool shit with the Guardians of the Galaxy, and it's like, they found a way to keep him interesting. Audiences today, especially teenagers, know Venom as that. That's Venom.
Yeah.
It's an uncontrollable alien that a soldier wears as a suit to help fight bad guys that could go wrong at any moment. That's Venom.
Because that's also what they did in Ultimate Spider-Man, isn't it? The cartoon.
Yes, Ultimate Spider-Man did Venom. Yeah, there was a brief bit of Venom as Venom, that old school Venom, but it was mostly Agent Venom, was how it was dealt with.
Yeah.
Which is fine. Now, obviously, that means there's a wealth of stories to tell. The reason I'm bringing all of this up is because...
You like talking about Venom.
A couple months ago, the Venom teaser trailer came out.
So much Venom.
For the Sony movie that's coming out this October.
Which had a conspicuous lack of Venom.
Yeah, which is really fucking weird. And we had a big discussion about the problem with Aviarad. Well...
Aviarad,
go
Venom,
away! Leave these films! Well, that's the thing. Aviarad had a toy biz, which bought, mass stock of Marvel back in the early 90s?
Basically saved Marvel from bankruptcy, yeah.
And Aviarad is very stuck in the traditions of what he believes is what's popular, one of which, as we talked in that podcast, was Venom. Like, Venom is his thing, specifically 80s, 90s, big teeth, drooling, I'll eat your brains, Venom. Like, he loves that Venom.
Spider-Man the Animated Series Venom.
Yeah. And we had this, which again, like, terrible show. It's aged terribly.
It's not good.
It's aged horribly. But we have fond memories of that Venom because they had that blue and red colour scheme in his outline. Hank Azaria voiced him and had a blast doing it.
No one can punch in that show, but it has the Punisher in it.
I know. What the fuck?
Blade.
I mean, just Batman the Animated Series was going on at the exact same time. They had guns. There was punching in that show. The way they got around the punching was that on the impact of the fist, the frame would flash. That's how they got around it. So you saw people punching, but you never saw the moment of impact.
X-Men.
X-Men had violence and punching and like people
X-Men
being crushed and claws. Like
Wolverine.
Although to be fair, Wolverine barely ever stabbed anything.
Yeah.
He mostly just got his claws out.
Also, I am the rocks of the eternal shore. Crash upon me and be broken.
Oh my god, Apocalypse says that at one point.
Yeah. It never says it in the movie.
We'll talk about this again in a little while, but I've been rereading Infinity Gauntlet.
It's not very good.
I don't recommend it. And
I read it not long ago, and it's
all
not
of
very
issue
good.
1, Thanos' dialogue is basically just that shit. It's hilarious.
It's just not very good.
If you want a good Thanos story, read Infinity or Thanos Rising.
Don't
anyway.
read Infinity Gauntlet.
Alright, no. Pick it up in Waterstones and skim through it in the aisle and then put it back on the thing. Just with some visuals.
Because I used to have 3 of the issues. And then
They're big issues. I didn't realise how big they were.
It wasn't until later that I got the trade and read the whole thing, but I used to have like issue 1.
Or as I like to call it, Mephisto tries to speak a bit and Thanos monologues for 40 pages.
Issue 3 and issue 4. So I had the monologue in, and I had the big battle where Thanos kills everyone. And then I had the aftermath of that,
Warlock
and then
stuff.
Yeah, and then like the end of issue 4, I think, is when all the like eternity and the living tribunal and chaos and order and all that turn up.
Not enough Star Fox for my liking. There's a Twitter moment about him this week, which I thought was quite cool. Someone said, like, this is a character that you should totally introduce as a sex-positive, like, consent champion, like, into this world. Because basically he's the opposite of Thanos. He's in love with life and love.
Yeah,
but you've got to be really careful with how you do it.
Because his powers are just like, fuck me. You wanna fuck me. And it's like, it actually takes away consent.
Yeah.
And I think there have been...
Which is why you've got to find ways of working it. I think the way you do it is you make it about his attitude.
Or alternatively, just don't do Star Fox because he
Do Star Fox, because I want to see someone try and wear that hair in a movie be taken
sucks.
seriously. Anyway, does he? Yes, he does. Everyone. That's the problem.
I would rather see Jack of Hearts before I see Star Fox.
I mean, I would like to see Jack of Hearts, to be fair, just to see if they'll pull it off.
Jack of Hearts.
Oh god. Anyway, Venom is back, and his full-length movie trailer is out now, and it's mostly Tom Hardy being Tom Hardy.
With a ridiculous accent. So Tom Hardy being Tom Hardy.
Yeah. I can't deny Guerrera, lovely woman, I can't deny that there is something about the trailer that I like. And I think it's the kid and teen in me who remembers the 90s era stuff.
I'm trying to come to terms with it and go, I don't hate this.
I don't like it.
I don't
but
like
I don't hate it.
But I don't hate it. It looks like they might have got some bits of it rightish.
You know, the bit that made me actually, and even on my first rewatch, the bit that made me go, ooh, was when you first heard the inner voice go,
yeah.
You're just like, oh, okay.
Is that Tom Hardy doing that voice as well?
I don't know. It doesn't sound like him, but it could be.
But then Tom Hardy never sounds like Tom Hardy.
No, but obviously...
You never know what he sounds like.
Obviously, it's through like a 1,000 voice filters.
He's always doing a silly voice.
But it definitely sounds like a different accent and inflections, which I think is a good choice if it is him, because it's like, no, these are two separate beings who are going to act as one.
Yeah.
Like, it can't be like, oh, it's a dark mirror of Eddie, because, yeah. But one thing still plagued me throughout the trailer, which was, this is a film about evil Spider-Man. with no involvement from Spider-Man.
Yeah,
Why?
and that's the catch. Is like, why does it make any sense for Venom to be Venom without Spider-Man's involvement? It just doesn't.
No, I mean,
it just doesn't.
You can
really.
You could just say that the symbiote's preferred form of like its face and stuff is like white domed eyes, and that's like aesthetically that's the connection that makes you go, oh, he kind of looks like Spider-Man. But as long if as he's not going to be swinging, and he's not going to be crawling, and he's not going to have a big white spider on his chest.
I think that's the thing. If he has a big white spider on his chest, then we're like, no,
it makes no sense.
That makes no sense. I can get away with the eyes,
unless they're going to go a bit meta, and Eddie's going to be a bit of a Spider-Man fanboy.
Which is what I was thinking about, actually.
Yeah, now the problem with that is...
especially with him being a reporter.
Spider-Man is still playing a big, important part in the movie without even being in it.
Well, you know.
Which is stupid. Like, that is stupid.
But, I mean, Venom is stupid, so...
Yeah. Now, I like the look of him when you see him at the end. I do quite like it.
Yeah.
Mostly because he looks so... he looks like wet leather. He looks so slimy.
I like the way the mouth closes over his head like a big hood.
Which is very, very comic book. And again, like I grew up a child of the Ultimate Spider-Man era, and Mark Bagley does a lot of that in the Venom arc.
Those teeth are gnarly.
Like, especially when Peter's wearing the suit and stuff, and he's screaming inside it. Like, the mouth just sort of opens, and there's teeth around his face.
Yeah.
That stuff looks really cool.
There's lots of teeth.
He's got his tongue, which apparently has set Tumblr alight with a bunch of people with giant tongue fetishes getting really excited. And power to him, fair enough, but really?
Rule 34.
Yeah. Oh, God. But it's just... I mean, we know what the plot is going to be.
What's the plot going to be?
It's evil scientist businessman tortures people by putting them through experiments with this substance that they've got hold of.
Yeah.
Eddie tries to uncover it, he merges with it, and then him and the bit that he's merged with go back, take revenge, probably kill the scientist businessman, and shut it all down, and then some of them escape, and we have a post-credit stinger suggesting that a guy called Cletus Cassidy is now Carnage or something. That's going to be the film. That will be the movie.
So now we don't have to see it. So that's
good. And also, it feels like a bit of a cop-out to see him... Oh, God. You know, I think that movie would be forgiven at least 10% of its sins had it been given its original title, which was A Couple of Dicks. Because already, that tonally, you know exactly what you're in for.
And also, if
Bruce Willis gave a shit.
The other guys hadn't come out.
Yeah, well, that was weird, Nick, because it was going to be... Like, Will Ferrell and Mark Wahlberg pitched it.
They come from the same base project, yeah.
Yeah, and then Warner Brothers went, no, screw that. Because Kevin Smith was attached to direct that movie. And then he was told they were recasting and Tracy Morgan was in it and they're going to get Bruce Willis. And then the other guys came out like a year later and it was much better.
Bruce Willis.
Michael
Chiklis.
Moby and Michael Stipe. So, the British Brody Quest. I would argue. Too short though, but still.
Or is Brody Quest too long?
Brody Quest is perfect and is untouchable, good sir. Yeah, I just think we know what this movie's going to be.
Well, you know what this movie's going to be, thanks to your prophetic powers.
Kind of looks just like Prototype, but with a smaller level of destruction. The PS3 game. Like, it's man trying to fight evil corporation that's using mutated stuff with tendrils coming out of him, smacking things. Because that's all it looks. It looks really weird. It's just Tom Hardy, and then a tentacle just randomly
comes out of him,
appears on his back. It's like, huh?
Does it come through his clothes? Does it come over his clothes?
Is it his clothes?
I think we're overthinking it.
No, I think we're thinking logically about it. Like we're thinking about it's a man covered in alien.
That's it. We're thinking logically about it. Sony haven't. I mean, this is a lot to judge off a trailer, but that's what trailers are for.
Let's be honest, though. Have Sony really thought? Have they thought?
No.
Have they thought?
It would not surprise me if it started out as a prototype script.
We did. Oh well, and merged with an ongoing Venom thing because they've been trying to make a Venom movie since the 90s. I mean, Avi Arad forced Venom into Spider-Man 3. And you could tell Sam Raimi did not want that. He did not care for that character. His era was the 60s.
A bit shit as well.
Yeah, he's terrible. And the black suit stuff isn't great. And it's just like, what is this? But even after that,
It's bad.
they wanted to do a spin-off, and Topher Grace had mentioned in an interview that Sony were talking to him. This is in like 2008. Sony were talking to him about making a Venom movie, and everyone's reaction at the time was, "How? You were a skeleton in the last one. How?
How? And also, more importantly, why?
¿Por qué? Because Avi Arad really wants to make a Venom movie, apparently, and now he's got his wish. What, 30 years after the character's creation?
And arguably, 30 years after the character's been relevant, yeah?
Yeah. 25 at a pinch. It's just like...
Or that version of the character, the version that Avi Arad has in his mind.
When was the last adaptation of Venom you enjoyed outside of the comics medium? Because I really liked him in Spectacular Spider-Man. I think they found a really nice way of doing that.
I never watched much Spectacular Spider-Man, so...
Oh my god, I'm lending you the DVDs. It is the best Spider-Man cartoon ever made. It is the best Spider-Man cartoon. It is so good. I mean, mostly because the simplistic art style was so that they could cut cost on the art look and put the money elsewhere. And when you watch the show, you realise the money went to the writing and the money went to the action, choreography and set pieces. Because this cartoon is brutal. Like, the actual action, it's what you want Spider-Man action set pieces to be. And I think Venom is the villain in the end of Series 1. Like, his story arc is subtly worked into the second half of Series 1. And then he's like, the last 2 episodes is dealing with Brock and him becoming Venom. And there's a fight, I think it's like Macy's Day Parade. The fight between Spider-Man and Venom is on the balloons. And it's so good. Like, it's sort of shaky cam, close quarters combat stuff. It's really good. But aside from that, last time I enjoyed Venom in another thing was the 1999 PlayStation game. And that's because it was just the epitome the cheesy 90s version of him. Voiced by the guy who voices Cosmo in Carry On Parents.
It's basically the cartoon. Like the 2 Spider-Man PS1 games are basically the animated series.
Well, it leans a little more to the comics, but it definitely takes from it. I mean, right down to Ephraim Zimbalist Jr. reprising the role of Doc Ock. Yeah. And stuff like that. But
a lot of the designs as well, I think, come from the cartoon.
Yeah, or like the colour schemes at least and stuff, for the characters. I mean, it's a great game. That is a great game.
New York, we're shouting out to the whole rotten apple here, people.
I would say Web of Shadows, but he's barely in it.
Yeah, he's not in it. He's not really in it at all. He's in it at the beginning, because he starts everything off by accident, doesn't he? Like, the symbiote's mutating. Yeah. Beyond his control, and then he tries to, I think, rein it in at the end, but it just mutates him further, and he becomes that giant thing. And then doesn't he sacrifice himself to kill it off?
It's been so long since I've played Web of Shadows, I can't remember.
It's got that weird opening, hasn't it, where it's set during the bit... The opening is a brief snippet before the final boss fight. Yeah. In slow-mo of Spidey just walking slowly toward the building and all this stuff around it. And it's like... do 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 do. It's really weird.
And then everything's in flashback.
Yeah, and it also... Did it have trophy support? I don't remember if it had trophy... Oh, see...
It's just pre-trophy support, yeah.
Maybe it's one that was patched afterwards.
It never got patched in.
Did it not?
No.
See, I'd replay it just to get the trophies again. As a merger, to revisit it and also go, oh, look, there's my trophies for it.
I found a copy of it GTA 4.
I started replaying GTA 4 just before GTA 5 came out. And I got an update. And then suddenly I was getting trophies. I was like, oh, shit. So I started replaying it from the beginning.
That's one of the many reasons I went back to Metal Gear Solid 4 not long ago.
Yeah.
I first played it when it came out.
I've got 2007, 2008.
And then they put trophies.
Of course, trophies only started to come in during 2008, didn't they? That was when they first started to show up.
2000 and...
Hang on, let me
think. Oh, yeah, no, late 2008. Yeah, you're right. You're right.
Yeah, because some games still haven't got trophy support. Like, I platinumed, in terms of in-game, Lego Star Wars: The Complete Saga back then. And it's like, has it got trophies now? No. Depends on if the studios want to. Heavenly Sword, for example, doesn't have trophies.
Yeah, they didn't
that was a launch title.
They made it mandatory going forward from a certain point, but some games snuck it under the radar.
But again, like, Venom's barely in that game. Yeah. And, I just...
So you're going to get some Venom action in the new Spider-Man game?
I hope not. And I'll tell you for why. Venom, I think, is quite possibly tied for the most used Spidey villain when it comes to video games. Yeah. And do you know who I think he's tied with? Not that apple don't fall far from the tree.
Carnage.
Yeah.
Maximum Carnage.
Maximum Carnage was a massive hit for the Genesis and the SNES.
The Mega Drive.
Mega Drive, and just like, you know what I mean? Yeah, hell, Amazing Spider-Man 2, which is not a brilliant video game, but it's got fun Arkham combat. And I would argue, and this really annoys me when people keep talking about the new Spider-Man game, they keep going, do you know what they've got to get right? They've got to get the web swinging right, because the web swinging's not been right since Spider-Man 2. And it's like, no, Amazing Spider-Man 2 is not a great game, but it has the best web swinging of any Spider-Man game.
I thought the web swinging in Web of Shadows was alright, but that's the last one I actually played.
Yeah, but I mean, people have been going, oh, it's not, like, no one's got it right since Spider-Man 2. It's like, no, they have. Like, Treyarch and Beanox have done a lot of work to try and make web swinging even better in each game. And Amazing Spider-Man 2, it's dictated by the L2 and R2 triggers.
Yeah.
So the R2 is your right hand, L2 is your left hand.
Oh, that's quite good.
Which at first feels odd, and then you get it, and you go, oh my god, this is perfect. Because you are just you're web swinging. You are figuring out which hand to cast a web from, and it's great. And it's not a dreadful experience playing Amazing Spider-Man 2.
Oh, that's a glowing review.
No, but like, you can complete it in a few days. And the best stuff about it is the best stuff about any Spider-Man game, which is the being Spider-Man part of swinging and leaping off buildings and doing really interesting, like, acrobatic combat, fighting villains, blah, blah, blah.
Who am I?
But
I am Spider-Man.
But also, Amazing Spider-Man 2 is worth playing on the PS4 for the character models, because they are so fucking terrible. The only person who has a good character model, a human-faced character model, is Kraven the Hunter. Everyone else is dreadful.
The footage and screenshots I've seen of Amazing Spider-Man 2 make it look like an early PS3 360 game.
No, I'll give it credit. It's got the Ubisoft thing where the environments are beautiful, and the main character is beautiful. Like Spidey in his suits and the alternate costumes look great, but everyone around him and everyone he interacts with looks like dog shit. Especially Harry Osborn looks terrible. But like, they don't even try and make him look like Dane DeHaan. He looks like a Lego toy of Fred from Scooby-Doo. It's weird. But the reason why I bring it up is because there's a surprise boss at the end of the game in the facility that's been dealing with all the shit in the Ravencroft, and you go in there and you go into the basements and you fight the revived corpse of the Carnage killer, who throughout the game you're finding victims and you do evidence in a very Arkham-esque way.
Right,
and basically Cletus Cassidy's apprehended, and he's like a pseudo-religious nut. Yeah. And he's more like Zaz. And then at the end, the stuff that they've got in the labs of Ravencroft merges with him, and he becomes Carnage. So the boss at the end of that game is Carnage. Venom and Carnage have nothing to do with the rest of the game, but there's Carnage. I don't want Venom to be in Spidey 2018 for PS4. I want... Who do we want? Like, just quick offshoot before we move on to more Marvels.
We know we've got
goodies.
Mr. Negative.
Mr. Negative's the big bad. We know Fisk is in it.
I want...
Kingpin is definitely in the game.
I want Vulture.
Vulture would be nice. The game seems to be taking a lot of inspiration from the Dan Slott era. How would you want your Vulture?
Late Dan Slott Vulture.
So, criminal empire running guy with a team of creepy little teenagers dressed as vultures.
Yeah.
Flying around. That would be cool.
I want the superior foes of Spider-Man. So, New Beetle,
Boomerang,
Overdrive.
Yes, Overdrive.
Speed Demon.
Shocker.
See, Shocker's got to be in it.
Shocker might be in more Spidey games than any other Spidey villain.
Shocker's the butt monkey of the Spider-Man
universe. He is. He's in all three of the Raimi games.
Yeah.
He's in Amazing Spider-Man 2. He's in Spider-Man 2 Enter Electro on the PS1. He's in that one.
Yeah.
Shocker is the butt monkey.
Shocker.
So that feels like the natural progression.
Ooh, I'm the Shocker. I shock people.
Oh my god! I mean, there's two. For fuck's sake, there are two of him in Spider-Man: Homecoming.
Yeah.
There's freaking Fancy Dan.
Yeah.
Who's only credited by like his actual name.
Yeah.
And then Herman Schultz becomes the Shocker.
Oh, so good. Yeah, I want Shocker.
That was a good Keaton impression, actually. That was really good.
I want... Who else do I want?
Prowler,
yeah.
Do you know who I'd like? But only because I'd like to see if the writers are up for the challenge of actually giving her a character other than boobs.
Black Cat.
Yeah. Especially because we're in a more of a Criminal Empire style Spidey game by the look of it.
Yeah.
Like, make Felicia a player in that work, or someone who's picking off of the stuff that's taken. Because she appears in every other Spider-Man video game, and she's just like, try and catch me, Spider. And that's her entire thing. And it's like, why?
What about...
Why?
What about...
But you could totally do stuff... I mean, Spider-Man 2 did a good job with her, because they did that with her. She looked terrible. They did that with her, but they also made it a point in the story, because the idea was Peter and MJ were at that weird place. And by the end of the story, the last Black Cat thing, if I remember correctly, is him being like, no, you know what, I have everything I want. I don't... You know what I mean? Like, this is the easy way out. This is the big fantasy, and that's not right. And she sort of sees that, and she's like, okay, I respect your decision. I'm not gonna push you for a quick nobbing around the back of the back of the bins.
I'm not gonna have you motorboat me.
Yeah. Which is difficult, because 90% of her character model was just a pair of tits.
Just boobs.
The only place to ever give her a little short bob cut as well actually suited the character really nicely and makes more practical sense for a cat burglar.
Yeah.
That's why Catwoman has it, but then wears a mask.
What about Vermin?
Now, Vermin, I've been replaying The Amazing Spider-Man, but on Vita, because I played it on PS3 originally. Vermin's in that. He's one of the infected thingies, and they do him really well, because he's not talking, he's more creature than human, but they utilise him really well, and you get some really cool stuff where you try and find him by following the rats scurrying around the streets and stuff. Vermin would work well. Considering the scope of the game and the style of it, I want a couple of the big bads to make an appearance, just so we can see them in Insomniac style. And Doc Ock is such an obvious choice in the good way, because it's like, yes!
Hobgoblin. Because I don't want them to blow their Osborn wad.
I don't want them to do any goblins until the second game.
Okay.
I think save your goblins. Because I love them, and they're amazing, but Green Goblin should always be the main player of a story, and it should be a well-written story. Save him.
Molten Man.
You joke, but I would totally play that level.
I
would play that level like crazy. That'd be great.
Paper Doll.
Okay, you're jerking me off now with your paper hands.
Oh, Paper Doll would be really good.
We were saying that, weren't we? Because there was belief that you might be playing as MJ.
Yeah.
That'd be a cool side mission.
Yeah.
Because her Paper Doll story arc involved MJ and the guy she was seeing at the time, and who?
The Doppelganger.
No. Give us Lizard.
The Spider Queen.
Give us Lizard, but like in big old
lizard
lab coat.
Big old lizard.
Lab coat
lizard. Lab coat lizard.
Lab coat lizard.
What about that Nazi bee guy?
Swarm. Nazi bee guys. It's a man made of bees, but not just any bees. Nazi bees.
Why don't we borrow from Fantastic Four and have the hate monger, who may or may not be Adolf Hitler?
Can we have the hate monger?
Or one of his body double.
Can we have the hate monger, kill monger, and iron monger?
So many mongers.
All the mongers.
We are the monger
men. Hey, we're the mongers.
People say we monger around.
That's terrible. We're going to hell.
Ryan Monger.
But we're going to avoid the law long enough to see Infinity War.
What do we think is going to happen in Infinity War? I mean, first of all, are we excited for Infinity War? What is the official big damn cast excitement level for Infinity War?
I'm a solid 8. I'm a good 8.
I'm just rock solid.
Are you? Oh God, you are. I can see it. You're poking the mic.
Just rock solid.
Oh, why? Get it off the mic.
I can't.
You know what? I'm like,
piercing. It's magnetic.
I don't think I'm on that level of OMG squee. This is everything. But I'm also like, having now completed our big marathon rewatch of all the MCU movies, I'm now like, I can't wait to see this. I'm looking forward to seeing this. But I keep reminding myself that it's part 1. Because the way the film's being marketed, it's being marketed as like, this is it. It's all been building to this.
And for obvious reasons.
Forget that we're releasing another film in 3 months. But like, releasing another movie in 3 months, which we'll want you all to be excited for, and we're possibly blowing our wad here. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it. How about you? I mean, you say you're rock solid. Are you groin-tinglingly excited for this movie?
Yeah, because I've seen the trailers that have been bouncing around, but I've not watched all the TV spots.
Yeah, I've avoided clips.
I've not watched any of the clips, so I'm relatively unspoiled.
I've seen one clip which I was really annoyed about because it was at the start of a Kimmel interview with some of the cast, and it just opened with the clip.
Yeah,
I was like, oh damn it!
Damn it! Now I've seen the clip in context, so I am looking forward to not I've just got to make it the next couple of days without getting spoiled, because I'm not seeing it till 8:30 p.m. on Friday.
Well, Thanos demands your silence.
I saw that.
And that's the thing too.
I've already checked out.
It's technically out on Friday. Like, that's when it comes out.
Yeah.
There are
all day tomorrow.
Midnight screening. Is it showing all day tomorrow?
It's
the first screening at 1 minute
screenings.
past midnight tonight.
Yeah.
We're recording this on Wednesday. For those who are wondering what the fuck we're talking about. So yeah, I think they get away with tomorrow being previews. Like, tomorrow is previews. It just happens to be
it's one of them
most of the screens.
Movies open like midweek now, so they can say, we had the biggest opening weekend ever! Because our weekend started on Wednesday.
Da 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 da. Money.
This movie's gonna make just all the fucking money.
Will it make Black Panther money?
Yeah.
Do you think so?
It'll
Because Black Panther made some big money, then by week 2 it made more money, and then it just kept making money.
It will knock the lack of spots, because panthers don't have spots, leopards have spots, off Black Panther. Guarantee it. It's gonna be Avatar big.
It's gonna be me!
It's just gonna be huge.
I put this out on Twitter yesterday, actually, and no one's come up with a coherent answer yet, which is, Black Panther is still in theatres because of demand.
Yeah.
Infinity War is going to be in theatres like the next few days.
Yeah.
That means next week, in most theatres, at least around the UK, Black Panther and Avengers Infinity War will be playing.
Yeah.
That's 2 movies in the same series.
Yeah.
But specifically 2 movies featuring the same cast.
Yeah.
Has that ever happened before? Same cast, playing the same characters. Like, that's got to be unheard of, surely.
How close together were the...
Matrixes were 6 months apart, so there might have been a bit of crossover, but that was probably more of a, we're going to put the second one back on this week, ahead of the third one coming out, so come and see it.
How close together were the Star Wars re-releases in the late 90s, the special edition ones?
I'm not sure.
I saw A New Hope in theatres when they re-released it in.
If they're anything like the plans that they were going to do for the 3D release.
Oh yeah, that went really well.
It would be like they're on for like 2 weeks.
Yeah,
and then they go away, and then the other one like a month later, the other one was on for 2 weeks. Although I think the 3D ones, they changed it so it was going to be one gets a release every 6 months. And then it stopped.
Then they just didn't do. They only did the first one, didn't they? They only did
Phantom Menace because I always wanted the Phantom Menace soundtrack, and they re-released it with a couple of bonus tracks and some extra inserts in the booklet.
Yeah.
To coincide with the 3D release of it. Because my version of the soundtrack's got a big 3D on the front. It's like, what the fuck. But yeah, I was glad for that because I was like, I always wanted the soundtrack. It's the one thing about this movie I genuinely love, and I would like to own it, please. So yeah, although it's revealed that part of that might have had something to do with the Disney acquisition.
Yeah, I would have thought so.
In retrospect.
I would have thought so.
But also, because it's just, we're going to release all the Star Wars movies in 3D, it's like, yeah, but you know you're not going to start making your money until your 4th release. And the studio, because they were releasing them, of course, chronologically in the film order. So it's like, well, obviously people aren't going to spend all of their cash going to see the prequels. So the studio, Fox probably would have been like, yeah, we're going to can this after the second one anyway, because returns wouldn't have been enough for them to carry it. It's so stupid.
Returns wouldn't have let you make it to Return
terrible
of the Jedi.
But that means that out there somewhere is at least a completed version of Clones in 3D conversion, and probably a mostly complete version of Revenge of the Sith in 3D conversion.
Yeah.
I wonder
if we'll ever get an IMAX 3D release of the whole saga.
The whole damn saga.
All 9 of them.
Oh God.
They'll release them one a month throughout 2020.
Yeah, it's great. I'll buy my tickets,
2019.
but then I'll take a dinner/toilet break throughout Attack of the Clones, most of Revenge of the Sith, and all of The Last Jedi. Shots fired! Hey, I'm still supporting the movie inadvertently. What's that up there?
That is... That's... Star Wars, the Black Series, Rey, Island Journey. Or, as they say in France, Voyage sur l'île.
Yeah, so... Now, I wanted that because I got the tiny version, and I thought it looked really cool, and they finally brought her out in the Black Series. But technically, it's Last Jedi merchandise, so I'm allowed to insult The Last Jedi at least once a day, because I've given them money.
Are you not buying it on Blu-ray?
No, I'm not rushing out. I will eventually.
I've not bought it yet, to be fair.
I will eventually, for completion's sake, and also I think after a time would be better for me to then revisit it with fresh eyes and be like, okay, like let's see what I do enjoy.
Oh wow, this is actually the best Star Wars movie since Empire Strikes Back.
No, that's Return of the Jedi is the best one since Empire Strikes Back. It's not better than Empire Strikes Back, but it's definitely the most enjoyable. Because look at all them puppets.
Yeah.
Look at all them goddamn puppets.
You can play as Ewoks now in Battlefront 2.
Can you?
They've released the Night on Endor update.
You know what I'm doing Battlefront 2? I'm doing exactly what I did for Battlefront. I'm just waiting until it's like a tenner.
I've not dove in,
and then I'm going to buy it and binge.
I've not dove back into it because Warframe is a far superior game.
Fair enough.
So
because I spent £5 on Battlefront, and then when I got PlayStation vouchers 2 Christmases ago, I spent in the sale $11.99 on the complete season pass.
Yeah.
So basically, I spent $16.99 on Battlefront and got all of the good shit.
Which you probably how much that game should have been in the first place.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't think fixing the progression has fixed Battlefront 2 because it's still like
triple A twattiness.
No, it's a competent first person / third person, whatever you want it to be, really. But really, you want to play in first person shooter.
I'm not
with
a shooter guy.
Star Wars skin.
I'm not a shooter guy. The majority of the joy I got from playing Battlefront was just the sound design, the look of it, and the layouts more than anything. I didn't give a shit about the weapons. Half the time, I didn't give a shit about who I played as. I just like the terrain.
We're supposed to be talking about Infinity War anyway.
We are. Will it make people as devised in their responses? Divided.
That's not the words you're looking for.
I like that Wookiee. Do you think it's going to divide opinion as much as, say, like Last Jedi? Considering, I think a lot of people will be going into Infinity War going, oh my god, we're going to have a great time! But it's clearly going to be a bit of a bleak finish. My prediction now is that the ending is an overwhelming cliffhanger, and it's going to be a pretty bleak one.
I'm going to say no, it's not going to be as divisive.
Okay.
Because I don't think... I think most of the people who like hold Marvel and Marvel's history and stuff as dear as hold Star Wars as lore.
Yeah, I think I get what you're saying.
I think they've accepted that this is its own thing.
Yeah.
And doesn't have to be beholden to the Marvel
pantheon,
the Marvel Comics pantheon, because it's the Marvel Cinematic Universe. It's its own creation. It's not, usurping something that has been in the collective consciousness since
1977.
Well, no, because it's
1983.
It's the expanded universe and that concept of post-Jedi Star Wars universe that so many people have taken to heart, despite the fact that it was mostly guff. But hey, whatever. So I don't think that people have got that same. People care about Marvel, but they're not as. And also, these characters are more.
Their fates
fluid.
The fates are more flexible,
yeah,
because we're so used to different versions and different tellings.
Yeah, like I was thinking about this on the walk over. Is like, in the same way that there are so many versions of old myths and legends, there are so many versions of these characters and their stories because that's what they are.
Yeah,
they're modern myths. In modern storytelling, where the Greeks told stories about titans and gods, we tell stories about mad titans and new gods.
True that. Famalam.
Yeah.
A ding dong.
A ding a dong.
Who's gonna die?
Everyone.
If anyone.
Spider-Man.
Maybe, but only because they'll bring him back in part 2 with the Infinity Gauntlet.
Yeah, like, I think
Spider-Man's
going to die and is going to get brought back with use of the Time Gem. Or the Gauntlet.
I think a few people are going to snuff it because they'll get brought back, but there'll be one who doesn't because it's part of, like, the sacrifice to
it's going to be Iron Man. It's going to be Tony.
It's got to be Tony, hasn't it?
Because he can't... He's got to go... They've got to take him off the table.
I would have said Cap. Because part of me's like, keep Tony around as part of the Spider-Man extended cast, keep him as an element of those movies now. But then I realised something during our MCU rewatch. Yesterday we rewatched Homecoming and Thor Ragnarok. And Homecoming ends with Tony giving Peter the option to suit up and announce to the world, this is the newest Avengers, Spider-Man.
Yeah.
And then, Peter turns it down because he's like, I think I'm going to stick to being a friendly neighbourhood Spider-Man for a bit. And it's like, okay, off he goes. And then you realise, the press are actually there. They do need to make an announcement of some sort. So Happy gives Tony an engagement ring.
Finally get engaged.
Which I thought was really sweet because he says, I've been holding on to this since 2008. Which I thought was really sweet because it's like, of course you have Jon Favreau because you wrote and directed the first film. But obviously that moment, because it's a cameo from Gwyneth Paltrow that is there to make you go, oh, Pepper. And it's also there to make you go, oh my god, they've made up. Because obviously in Civil War, part of Tony's stressful situation is that he's let everything consume him and has driven Pepper away.
Yeah.
So they've made up. He's obviously, after Civil War, he's obviously mellowed out enough to at least try to patch things up with Pepper. And then he takes the ring as they go out to the press conference, implying that he's about to propose to her in front of the world's press. Of course they're going to kill Tony off.
Yeah.
Of course they are. Maybe not in this one. Or maybe they do, and then he's definitively ended in the next one.
Yeah.
But also because Downey Jr. is the gem in their crown.
It started with him, so I think it has to, for it to move on and become something completely new.
Yeah.
With a new core cast, I think it has to move beyond him, and I think they have to get rid of him. Also, he's heading towards 60 now.
He's in his early 50s.
Yeah, so he can't keep doing this forever.
Yeah, I mean, then again, arguably, he doesn't do much of the action anyway.
We know
he stands around with some little grey blocks attached to his shoulders, and then they CGI some armour over him.
We know that contract-wise, Chris Evans is done after Avengers 4.
Yeah, and he's made a point of saying that that will be his last one.
Yeah.
And then, of course, people's response was like, why'd you get killed off? And he's like, oh no, this is regardless of the story.
Yeah,
I just feel that's where I'm going to end my thingy.
And I think that's fine, yeah.
And it's which implies that if he's not going to die, he's at least going to bow out in the story.
Yeah.
In some way.
Which I think is fine.
Oh my god, you know what would be oh my god, you know what would be the perfect way to end Steve's story?
What's that?
Well, you've got the time gem, right?
Send him back in time.
You've got all the gems. Send him back 8 o'clock sharp. That club. And he takes the dance with Peggy. And just do a whole thing of things are going to change and it's going to send a ripple, but that doesn't fucking matter because we're seeing the story from the point of view of these characters going forward.
Yeah,
it doesn't matter. Oh my god, if that's the way they write him out, that would be beautiful. He actually goes back and he gets to just live a life with Peggy Carter. That would be so cool.
Yeah, I'm alright with that.
Oh my god, now I've said it. Sorry. Oh, love it. Hemsworth's contracts are up at the end of Avengers 4.
Yeah.
But he has openly stated that after Ragnarok, there are stories he really wants to tell because he feels they've found the style that Thor should be in going forward.
Because he's also talked about when he came on to do Infinity War, he was like, we've just done this with Ragnarok, so can we keep moving in that direction and not go back the way we came? Yeah,
and from a couple of the non-spoiler reviews I've seen so far, they do say that the Ragnarok tone is lost a little in this. So I kind of get that. But also, the tone of Ragnarok can't invade this movie, because this movie is its own beast.
I have heard that it is pretty funny. Humour takes a front seat in the way it has in all these movies to a lesser or greater degree.
I think we're going to spend the film, based just on those posters they've been putting out, I think we're going to spend the film with either 3 or 4 different groups.
Yeah. And
that's going to be where we jolt back and forth between, with a couple of them coming together for the big Wakanda stuff.
Yeah.
So that'd be nice.
I think...
Because then everyone gets, a bit of a moment.
I think that it might end with Thanos kills half the universe.
Well, that's, rereading Infinity Gauntlet, as I was saying before, his objective in that basically is... Issue 1 is just him being a whiny little bitch.
Yeah.
But in a really eloquently Shakespearean worded way, because he's just monologuing to fuck.
I mean, that's Thanos.
Yeah.
So.
Although some writers do better with it. Who wrote Thanos Rising? Is it Jason Aaron?
I believe so.
Let's have a look. Stars Rising is Jason Aaron.
Yeah.
He finds such a much more streamlined way to do it, where it still feels grand and Shakespearean, but is also concise and digestible. Infinity Gauntlet issue 1 is basically him pissing and moaning at death's door, going, "Look, you brought me back to life to like even out the balance of life and death."
He's John Cusack with the boombox.
Yeah, it's like, love me. Look, alright, okay, you want me to, alright, watch this. See this? This is my daughter Nebula. Like, I kept her in a state of living death.
Yeah.
Like, she is basically a mummified corpse that is barely conscious right now, because comics. Because, like, I do this as a display of my love
and no matter
for
what
you.
Happens,
I celebrate death so much that I keep her on the brink of it, because it's a magic thing to watch. It is a beautiful thing to see.
And no matter what happens, this isn't going to come back to bite me in the ass at all.
She's not going to recover somehow, become blue, vengeful, and try and murder me later. But like, do you know what I mean? Like, and he's got the Infinity Gauntlet, and he's toying with people like the Silver Surfer and the Destroyer, as he's just called at that point.
Yeah. I think he's called Drax the Destroyer.
In the book, they only refer to him as the Destroyer.
Oh, okay.
But I think that's just because that's his name to everyone.
Yeah.
He also talks monosyllabically, and it's really annoying. He's just like, "You put down!" It's just like, oh, for God's sake.
Yeah, we didn't get Smart Drax until just before Annihilation in 2004.
And he, like, they go to fight Thanos when they first find out he now has all the gems. Because I forgot, Infinity Gauntlet opens with him already in possession of everything.
Yeah, because it had been there'd been a lead up to it in Silver Surfer.
Ah, there it is. And basically he just spends days toying with them, like, turning them into mush and warping their brains and like breaking like 3 or 4 dimensions from them so that they just exist on a one-dimensional plane. Just and then he brings them back and just fires them into space. And it's like, really? Like, they're gonna come back?
Well, yeah, because
Silver Surfer fucking crashes in the Sanctum Sanctorum,
which is what we're gonna get with Hulk in this, I think.
Yes. God, yeah. That trailer, Ruffalo in the rubble.
Yeah.
Oh my God, yes! Yeah. And of course, Thor Ragnarok's mid-credit scene is a massive ship intercepting the ship of the Asgardians, so... Like, that's Thanos and his Black Order.
Looks like Loki's going to be joining up with them.
Yeah, or at least double agenting.
Yeah.
I think Loki will turn.
I think
we're going to get... I think Loki's next on.
Yeah, I think we're going to get a heroic sacrifice from Loki, a redemptive arc.
Yeah, I think he's going to siege.
But it wouldn't surprise me.
He's going to do a siege. He's going to do the right thing.
He's going to do a siege
at the last minute.
It wouldn't surprise me if we get a finger snap moment and half the universe just fucking disappears.
Oh yeah, because at
like,
the end of issue 1, he basically declares like, "That's what you want. You want balance. I'll give you." And he clicks his fingers, and suddenly people disappear. There's a really harrowing panel where a woman's screaming at a pram, just going, "My baby, where is my baby?" Because when it first happens, everyone's fully aware that it just happened, and it's like, oh,
yeah, it's like there's
God,
there's a bit with Spidey where he's like on top of a building and he just sees like half of all the people on the street just blink out of existence.
Yeah,
and it's like, what the.
And like that, and the tail end of that is like, like Surfer is like pleading with Strange that he has to do something, and Wong just says, "I can't," and then he just disappears, and like he's holding a tray of tea, and it just crashes to the floor, and you're like, "Oh shit!"
Yeah. So I think
Hawkeye and I can't remember her name. There's a Lady Avenger from like the West Coast era.
Tigra.
No. I'd remember I'd remember if it was just a woman sat there in a bikini. I am a perverted filth box after all. I can't remember her name now, but she, like, the two of them, Captain America visits the Avengers mansion, and the two of them just disappear. Yeah, and you're like, oh, right, bye Hawkeye.
Yeah, that's where he is. That's where he is in the trailers. No, I think we're gonna get that as like the cliffhanger to this, and I think we're gonna lose like. We'll lose like important characters, like we might lose Spider-Man. We'll lose either Black Panther or Shuri. We'll probably lose.
If they know what's good for him, they'll at least leave Okoye.
Yeah.
If they know what's good for him,
we'll lose
just to give her a really fucking cool moment where she like stabs the fuck out of like Proxima Midnight in Part 2 and just screams Wakanda forever. It'd be like, yeah, Wakanda forever.
I don't know what to expect from the Black Order actually.
Yeah, from Corvus. Let's see if I get the names right, because I always forget. Proxima Midnight.
Yeah.
Corvus Glaive.
Yeah.
Ebony Maw.
Yeah.
And in the comics, he's Black Dwarf. But in this, he's called Cull Obsidian.
Yeah.
Yay! What do I win?
Are they doing Supergiant? I don't think they're doing Supergiant.
Do I win anything?
No.
Unless they bring Supergiant in as like part of.
You get a no prize.
Yay! Do I get it in the envelope and everything?
Congratulations, but you are now the owner of a genuine no prize.
Has our Stan Lee become Gilbert Gottfried?
You are now the owner of a genuine no prize. Well done on achieving your heart's desire of a piece of paper with the word no written on it. Jafar!
Anyway. Oh, God.
Yeah, Infinity War.
Peep's gonna die, I think.
It's gonna taste great.
I've not heard that in years. Jesus wept for good reason.
Yeah, let's do some emails.
Speaking of good reasons, let's read some emails. Yeah, that doesn't make any sense.
For the love of God.
Oh, it's gonna take me. I could feel the sound of Frosties hitting me. It was Frosties, wasn't it?
Yes. Because there was that rumour going around that kid killed himself after the...
Oh, like shortly after it started airing. Yeah, God, of course. Wow, that is a weird thought. I mean, all of that is a weird thought. There are some of our younger listeners going, I don't understand what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Good.
Right.
Did a little poo there.
Emails.
Little poo there for
Got
you.
quite a few to catch up on.
My God.
First one comes in from a Tom Mantan. Dear Chris and Matt.
Not Chris and Matt.
I think it's fair to say that Series 1 and Series 5 are two of the more well-regarded series of modern... Are you ready for it? Doctor Who.
Is required.
That's in my opinion, at least. Considering they were both the first series of a new genre, do you think that Chibnall will be able to produce a Series 11 that packs the same punch seen in those two series?
Is this Matt and Chris, two lifelong Doctor Who fans, reluctantly answer a Doctor Who question?
Definitely.
Oh, God. Okay. Do we think Series 11 is going to have the same punch as Series 1 and Series 5?
Yes, if only for the fact that it's a big shift in terms of the makeup of the show.
Yeah. I mean, it should definitely feel like a big refresher button.
Yeah. New showrunner, new companions, new logo,
new
female
music,
Doctor,
new TARDIS, inside and out.
Yeah.
I think it'll definitely pack that punch. No, I mean, there's no way to know if it'll be as well received as those two series were.
But I think
until it's out. But fingers crossed.
I think it will pack a punch. What kind of punch? I don't know. Like
Donkey
fruit punch.
Oh,
donkey punch.
I was gonna go for the horror one.
Yeah,
sucker punch.
Hole punch.
Ooh. And Judy, punch.
Sucker punch.
Dirty.
One Punch Man punch.
Hey.
Chris.
When are we getting that movie?
Chris.
Yeah.
Chris.
Yeah.
Chris.
Ha!
I recently watched your Bad Wolf and Parting of the Ways episodes of 9 is 10 and I thoroughly enjoyed them.
You watched them? That's surprising. It's an audio.
You know exactly what questions come in next, don't you?
Go for it.
Did you ever consider doing 10 is 10 past the Christmas Invasion? I know a title like that would no longer apply to Series 2 and 3, but it would apply to 4. But did you or would you ever consider doing something like that for 10's episodes? I know I'd watch it.
No.
That's...
I toyed with it, but at the time I was doing Time Team for Doctor Who magazine, so I was kind of already / had already doing / done it.
Was doing it, is doing it.
Series 1 holds a special place in my heart as being my favourite series and my favourite Doctor's run of the show. And also, I felt like it was more worthy of celebration in terms of it was 10 years of the show coming back.
Yeah.
The 10 is 10 Christmas Invasion was sort of a wonderful fluke / freak accident / bonus.
Yeah.
Because I enjoyed doing them, and I wanted to do one more in some context. I definitely wanted to get you and Guy in the same room for one as well.
That's just your sexual
perverted,
peccadillos.
Yeah. Sexual peccadillos. What a great phrase. And also, I feel the Christmas Invasion feels like Series 1 in a way. Like it was the same year.
Yeah.
And it's the same vibes, and again that ends in a way that feels like, oh my god, the next time is a brand new start. Like, it feels that way at the end of Christmas Invasion. So that almost feels like the actual refresher before it moves on to 10. I mean, I'm not against doing some more Doctor Who retrospective stuff going forward. Might not be complete audio commentaries, but, you know, maybe we'll do the odd one or something, either on my channel or maybe for some big damn work. Who knows?
Maybe... If I was going to do any of that stuff, I would prefer to do classic series stuff.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah, I mean, we dipped into that briefly in 9/10. We did the first episode of Spearhead for one of the After Party episodes. Which ended up being, I think, the shortest After Party episode. No, hang on, there's one where I just answered some questions for the listeners, and that was like 7 minutes long.
All the questions
concise.
were, are you going to do a 10
No!
No,
I'm glad you enjoyed them. If you think other people would enjoy them, spread it round. Let them know.
And finally, now that we're a few weeks away, are the both of you planning anything special for episode 100 of the Big Damn Cast? Have a fucking week, Tom Monty.
Has he written have a fucking week?
Have a fucking week.
Okay.
Bit of a Smithism.
Yes, a semi-smodcast little...
I think
taste.
that we can now announce that episode 100 of the Big Damn Cast
will
actually be the first episode of a new ongoing series, 10 is 10.
Oh, God.
In which... no, we have no plans.
Yeah, I mean, TBC.
I mean, it's
TBC.
It's a bit dicey week to week whether we're going to do another episode. No, that's a lie.
Oh, Christ.
I don't know until I get here whether we're going to do another episode. No,
Jesus wept.
No,
shortest sentence in the Bible.
We are seeing the 100 looming in our near future, and
the last time we properly spoke about the 100, I think, was in January, because we realised, oh my God,
we're going to hit 100. Yeah.
But there's also that thing of, do we do something special for the 100, or do we save it for 104, which is technically the 2-year anniversary of the show?
Do both.
All right.
Why not Zoidberg?
Why not Zoidberg? Did you see me escaping? I was like, whoa! We've never done a feature. We should do a few more show-specific ones.
Yeah,
we've not done that in a while.
Yeah. I could stand to do some.
I could do a feature on
well, anything.
Fun. Ooh, baby.
We need to watch from Westworld, boy.
I do. How many episodes of series 1? 10. 10? Yeah. All right. If it's back up on Now TV,
it was on Now TV before series 2 came out. I don't know if it's still up because series 2's just started.
Failing that, I think the first series just came out on DVD in the UK. I remember seeing it in Tesco. We're not endorsed, but if anyone wants to pop into Tesco and buy me a copy of Westworld. Tess can't. Tesco.
Tess can't. Tess won't.
Tess shan't. Diddly-diddly. 2 ladies.
Tess of the D'Urbervilles. The Ginger Luke writes in.
Does he?
Yeah, but I'm not going to read it. No! Can you imagine? Can you imagine the furore on Twitter?
He would light a candled vigil towards you and curse it.
Says, hey, Big Damn Cast.
Curse it sideways and hither and dither, sir, until eventually all of your knees fell off.
It's great to hear how much you enjoyed my poem and the information of my film. I am, in fact, 14 years old.
Bloody hell.
I think we covered this. I
think we might have.
We definitely covered this.
I think we might have covered it because we did listen to the old.
We've had this conversation.
The old Randy Quaid.
Yeah. I'm sure we've had this conversation.
For those of our regular listeners, Luke emails in quite often, and basically he's an insanely creative person for someone who's 14.
It's annoyingly successful.
Yeah. Guess on my tits a bit.
I was thinking when it's made, I could give you guys an early access link so you can review the film before its release. I promise we'll review it, but we'll certainly watch it.
Yeah,
in terms of Greg Austin's appearance, I always say if you don't ask, you don't get, and that's taken me a lot of places and allowed me to have many great guests on my podcast. That's true.
No, it's very true. It's very true. A lot of 9/10 was just down to putting feelers out.
Yeah, you do not get.
I got a lot of very polite no's from people who are either too busy or like, I just don't know if I want to do that, but thank you very much.
Yes.
So, fair dues.
I feel I've missed something. What's the big deal with Five Who fans in Telford? I'm
the wrong person to ask on that one, to be honest. but From Telford with Love is on its way now. There was a bit of a big production delay with Aimless Wanderings.
Is that what it is?
Oh, there was
I'm in that one.
You are. We are both in that one. Which, yeah, I'm looking forward to finally hearing. I got round. It took me like a couple extra weeks because of Panther, but I finally got round to listening to The Pompous Redemption, or as I like to call it, The Pompous Redompus.
The Pompous Redompus.
It's really good. It was really, really good.
Pompous Stomper.
It's friends of the show from Smash the Media play a couple little characters in it.
Oh yeah.
And they've both done really well. Like I say that like I'm like, oh, I didn't expect it, but no, more like, oh, I wonder how they're going to fare with this because they're not like actors, but Danny is presenter and knows what he's doing, and Guy has definitely got like that comedy thing about him. They're both really, really fucking funny in it. I think they play 2 roles each, and they're just the way they deliver it is just like, god damn it! Like they steal. How can you steal a scene if that scene is all in your head?
They call me 2 roles.
They call me 2 roles McGee. But they're really good. I'm really super serious in it. I barely have any comedy lines because Tim's going through quite a serious story arc. But all of Tim's scenes have at least, there's a guy called Commander Boxing who's played by Pete Walsh, who's really funny, and then the scientist is in a lot of those scenes as well, but Richard B. Brooks' character, so Tim's scenes are funny. Tim just isn't saying the funny lines.
Loxy.
Commander Boxing's really fun.
Last week, I got to meet the best doctor and one of my favourite actors, Christopher Eccleston.
I thought you were going to say Dr. Leg.
Is he a qualified doctor? I want to see his medical licence.
He's a doctor of actings.
What a friendly man! He signed a Doctor Who picture on my DVD of the A word, as well as telling all you outside, that he doesn't know why the press says he doesn't like talking about Doctor Who. Can't possibly think why. He was also very impressed I'd seen Let Him Have It. Should I write more poems about actors or even about you guys? Definitely don't write anything about us.
Yeah.
That's bordering on the strange.
The Dr. Stephen Strange.
Yes. Man sweat. I think I'm forgetting something, but I can't figure out what, so maybe there'll be a follow-up email. And he sent a couple of pictures of him and the old...
The old
decrepit.
decrepit.
The old Creckleston.
I'm assuming... Actually, no, I'm sure you tweeted me about this, Luke. I'm assuming it's because you went to see him in Macbeth. Yeah, in fact, they're outside the RSC main theatre in Stratford-upon-Avon. I saw that the other week. Really bloody good. And he's very good in it. Him and Neve Cusack are fucking wonderful in it as Macbeth and Lady Macbeth.
I think the thing that's put me off is that it's more fucking Shakespeare.
Yeah. I think with me I was more just
I know it's the Royal Shakespeare Company, but it's like, it's just, every year they've got another version of this Shakespeare play, but this time it's in this setting, but it's the Shakespeare play that we all know.
Well, the draw for me with this one was just solely the chance to see him do Shakespeare.
Well, that's always the draw. It's who's playing what, and it's just... But it's... Yeah, I
Have you seen what happened this week?
I always find it hard to
Have you seen what happened this week? Because it's like Shakespeare's like something birthday. Like his 400th birthday or something like that.
20th
so
birthday,
the Royal Mail have done like some tie-in stuff for it.
Oh.
And there's a postbox. The postbox in Stratford-upon-Avon has been adorned with quotes from his plays.
Good.
And to celebrate it, stuff like the other day, the Royal Mail did a quick sort of photo shoot with the 2 leads of the upcoming production of Romeo and Juliet that's going to be going on at the RSC.
Yeah.
It's one of those things where you can tell they're sort of like, oh, you just want us to pose next to the poster. Okay, fair enough. Do you know what I mean? But either way, it's still like, oh, that's kind of cool. Like, the stars of the upcoming show are there to sort of say, hey, look at this postbox. It's freaking cool.
Yeah.
And a lot of people on Twitter quite quickly pointed out, wow, you really think Romeo and Juliet is the right play to associate with letters arriving on time? Do you really think that's the right one? To talk about the post and how it should be there in the nick of time?
Yeah, communication is very important.
Letters do not play a particularly reliable role in the play
especially
Romeo and Juliet.
Especially, timely communication.
It's just so it's weird. It's weird. It'd be like a harbour safety campaign, like using the stars of Jaws. Do you know what I mean? It's just like, what are you doing? Using them makes us think of people being bitten and eaten and dying. Like, what are you doing? It's stupid. But yeah, power
Jaws is
to
a
him.
good movie.
I want to see Eccleston in more stuff in general.
I want to
that
see
can
Eccleston in
consume.
Jaws.
Just in Jaws.
Yeah.
Like, in Jaws. Just photoshops of him sat in Jaws.
Yeah.
Do you know, it's like, not
Pictures
just
of Christopher
the
Eccleston.
shark. Just like someone goes around
Yeah.
the museum and just takes photos of every skull they can
They're
find.
all framed
Yeah.
with a jaw. It's just pictures of Christopher Eccleston
he fills the
framed
gaps.
with an open jaw.
He fills the gaps.
Yeah.
So like, Tyrannosaurus skulls from the side have those like little sort of circular gaps in the top and the
He's
bottom.
wearing.
Just put his face in all of them.
He's wearing the skulls like hats.
I'm gonna set Ginger Luke a poem task.
Lewis, no, don't!
No, I'm gonna say one.
Don't!
Ginger Luke, take your time, don't rush it, and keep it as your
I'm
task.
not reading
keep
it.
To,
I'm not reading
keep it to 3 verses maximum.
I'm not reading
You
it.
saw Macbeth. I believe you saw it twice, if I remember correctly what you told me on the tweet here. So, I want a little poem about Macbeth. Go. There's your own work.
I hate you so much.
You
Chris.
don't hate me, because you're going to perform it in the voice of Tim Curry.
Oh, fucking duck.
Okay. So,
Lewis sends in.
Lewis with his eyes and neck and teeth
Greetings.
and dreams and greasy tub full of all that stuff he collected from meats.
Greetings again, big damn people.
Hey, dude.
Been a while since my last email. Been busy preparing for GCSEs and all that stuff.
Oh, that's
which is stressful, but hey, it's all good.
Oh.
Why is our audience all so young? God, I feel old.
Don't swear. Just don't swear.
Oh, fuck that. I can't bloody wait for Infinity War!
Oh, he swore. Lewis swore.
Been immersing myself in MCU content recently in preparation. Sounds messy. I think this is the most excited I've been for a film since Avengers 1 back in 2012. I think the biggest reason for that is how long we've spent with these characters. 10 years now! It really feels like an earned culmination of 10 years and 19 films worth of content. I think my biggest bugbear, my big bear, with the DCEU by comparison is nothing feels earned. They launched straight into a Death of Superman Dark Knight Returns adaptation without giving us time to get to know any of those characters.
Yep.
Thus no time to get invested and give a damn. I've gotten attached and connected to these characters in the MCU for so long now that this big culmination feels so earned and fitting. Fitting. As well as this, I've also finished season 2 of Buffy, which ripped out my heart and crushed it.
Yep.
Absolutely bloody brilliant TV. Yeah, it's pretty fucking
It stood
good,
in
mate.
front of you, it whispered softly, and whilst you stand there confused and panicked, it tells you to close your eyes. And then when you did, it plunges a fucking sword into you and threw you into the dimensional rift you opened because you were evil 2 minutes ago.
As a side note, and off topic,
Yeah.
I've never heard you two talk about your thoughts on the 70s and 80s Superman flicks. Personally, I love them.
Ooh.
What are your thoughts? That's all from me, I think. Goodbye for now. So just my real quick thoughts on them.
Yeah.
Superman 1's great. Superman 2 is a bit weird, but pretty good.
Yeah.
Superman 3 is...
A weird quirk of a thing.
Yeah, it's not
It's
the
70.
worst.
It's 70% terrible. 30%. I'm entertained.
Yeah.
Like it's not. It's not
Yeah.
objectively. It's not objectively a crap movie. It's just full
kind
of.
of is.
It's full of crap.
Um,
Because you've got some good. You've got like Chris Reeve's take on
Yeah.
bad Superman, which
That's-
is
God.
not evil. It's just a dickhead. Do you know what I mean? Which I think is right because his Clark Kent as Superman is so pure and good that evil Superman wouldn't be like, I will tear this world apart. He would just be a cunt, and that's what he is. And also, you get that bit where the woman gets turned into a robot by the machine, which gave nightmares
terrifying.
to generations
Oh
of children.
God, it's terrifying.
And Quest for Peace is a brilliant get drunk and take the piss out of that
Quest for
movie.
Peace is just dog shit. It's so bad.
I enjoy it because of how bad it is.
and it's just, but it,
Nuclear Man.
I feel for Christopher Reeve.
I would love to do an episode at some point on Superman adaptations. So like Lois and Clark and stuff. I love those first 2 films. The second one,
I
like
think
you
they're
say,
really
the
good.
second one's not. It's not brilliant, but it's definitely there's more enjoyable stuff in it.
I have a soft spot for Superman Returns as well. I think he does a lot of
Yeah,
things
Superman
right,
Returns is fine.
but it doesn't
It
quite
definitely
get there.
casts the most evil man to play Lex Luthor.
Yeah. Oh, that's gonna be weird. Trying to go back and watch
Yeah,
that,
that's
isn't
going to be strange.
it?
But statistically, still travelling back is the safest way to travel. As far as Superman the movie goes, the only thing I don't like about Superman the movie is the flying around the Earth, turning things back in time, just because it's so vague and weird.
It's just so...
That's the only thing I don't like, but knowing that that's a product of the studio mandate and the reshoots and the editing and everything, you can kind of just go like, it's dumb, but fine. Because everything else about that movie, I adore.
Yeah.
I adore that. Was it 77, 78?
They were shot
together.
And
with
then,
a very brief break.
Yeah.
But then
it all
was fired.
got muddled up in post and
But
reshoots.
I love that film.
Yeah.
I adore it so much.
It's good.
How many P's in Rapist? That's a line from Superman. That is a line from that movie. Yeah, I love it. And I think we'll have to put that down as a themed episode.
Also, big love for Lois and Clark.
I love Lois and Clark.
Is it good? I don't know. Did I love it? Yeah.
Did I spend most of my childhood thinking they were the best versions of Lois and Clark? Yes. Because they were there for me every weekday afternoon at 6:25 on BBC Two.
James.
No, Chris. For Christ's sake.
James
we've known each other for over 10 years.
James says, "Hi to you big damn folks, Chris and Matt.
Hello.
I apologise with my whole heart
if
this has been asked of you before, but to not dilly-dally any further, I was wandering with Black Panther down the path behind us, which we have just walked, and Infinity War is just around the proverbial corner, and Ant-Man and the Wasp down a gritty side alley beyond that.
A gritty side alley with fun graffiti.
What are your respective favourite superhero film themes from the McHugh?"
So we're talking musical score?
I am only talking solo films, so no Avengers. Even though that 2012 theme is ridiculously brilliant.
Dun, 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 dun. It's the only theme that's really sort of lasted as well.
Guardians Inferno is permitted in my book. For myself, it's between the music that plays in the first section of Captain America, the first Avenger, and the fast-paced version of the Iron Man 3 theme. Can you dig it?
Yes.
Although all versions of that music are astounding, I just wanted to get your take. Enjoy the never-ending Infinity War. I have my tickets.
That's so ominous.
The
MCU is sort of the MCU and superhero films at large have been kind of absent from earworms for a very long time.
Yeah, they tried to resurrect them in Justice League and they did not work.
It just felt so out of place.
Yeah, they just didn't work.
I mean,
I really like.
Arguably the best, not counting TV, arguably the best superhero themes ever. There's two of them, and it's Superman from the 70s film, and Batman from the 89 film.
I really like Hans Zimmer's Man of Steel theme, but it doesn't.
Yeah,
get
I bought the
used
soundtrack.
properly.
It's the only thing in that movie I own.
Yeah, and it doesn't get used properly after Man of Steel.
Because it's got that triumphant drum thing, and it sounds hopeful.
It's a really great theme for Superman. But it doesn't go. It's not in
Batman v
BBS in any in anything resembling that sort of full hopeful version.
They use it briefly in Justice League in the mix, but they ruin it by using a bit of the Chris Reeve theme. So it's like,
that score is a mess.
Yeah,
it's an absolute mess.
Batman. We were talking about this the other day, actually, Lucy and I. Batman 89's theme
is great.
Is amazing. It's not a song that says. It's not a tune that says Batman. It's a tune that says adventure. Like, it's a march towards something exciting and cool and a little bit tragic and grand and operatic. It becomes Batman's theme with the Shirley Walker arrangements for the animated series. Because when I hear that music now, I almost feel disappointed when I don't hear that dun dun dun. Because I want to see that. I picture the rooftop fight of the opening title sequence,
which is unbelievably brilliant.
So when that theme goes to TV, it becomes Batman music. Yeah. I think for the film, it's just a wonderful score that I associate with Batman. Superman, however, that's the character summed up in music. It's beautiful. All the swoops and things of it right into the it just captures like every element of the essence of that character.
King John Williams, isn't it, mate?
Yeah. I mean, as for MCU,
that's
I like the Guardian. Hang on, that's Avengers. Wait a minute. The Guardians one is dun, 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 dun. But it's similar to Avengers. That's the problem. I like Spidey's. I like the music for that. Dun, 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 that really lilting version of it. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun,
Yeah, that's a
dun,
nice
dun,
little
dun.
thing.
Like it fits the small nature of his story, and Vulture's theme in that is striking as fuck. I think the scores as a whole get better the more the films go on. The score for Ragnarok is fascinating.
I think of the solo movies overall, Caps has the best theme.
That first one's just that big sweeping militaristic America like vibe.
There are versions of it in Winter Soldier that work really well too. I think it's the Cap stuff. Yeah.
I think if I had to pick not necessarily a theme but a score overall, it's Black Panther.
Oh, fucking hell, yeah.
Because the music in that is so fucking experimental and weird. And rewatching Civil War, there's a slight taste of it in the motorway chase.
Yeah.
Obviously not the same approach because different composers, but like you know that the team who worked on Black Panther paid attention to that and went, we're going to use a bit of that, so that it feels connected. Also, I didn't realise until my rewatch of Doctor Strange that when he's driving in his car and he's turning down appointments over the phone, the first one is Rhodey. Man in his mid. I thought it was man in his mid-30s. Spinal injury in some kind of.
No, they've come out and said that it isn't.
Oh, so I was going to say because trying to say the only thing that made me go really was Don Cheadle saying he's in his mid-30s.
Yeah, he's aged well, but
he's
not aged that well.
Has he? Don Cheadle looks frail.
No, he's got strength in his bones, mate.
Fair enough. How would you have to wear fucking power armor?
Oh well.
Fine actor, but he does look a bit old.
Well, yeah.
Considering Sam Jackson's like 30 years older than him.
Well, he's just got a bit of salt and pepper. That's all.
I love Don Cheadle.
Jacob says,
"No,
I'll get your name right eventually." Jacob says,
Doctor Strange theme's actually quite nice. Sorry, hi Jacob.
Hello,
the mandolin starts coming
damn cocker.
Hello.
A bit like Doctor Who, I have returned and will probably go away for a bit again. Avengers. Infinite War is just around the corner.
War? Infinite War?
It's just around the corner. So is Solo, and nobody gives a toss about that.
That's fair. Oh my god, that's like 3 weeks away.
They've got. Have you seen in the AMC the big standee they've got for Solo?
No.
It's like a cardboard version of the Falcon cockpit with like a life-size Chewbacca and Han, and you can like sit in the co-pilot seat and have your picture taken on the standee.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is there any Lando on the standee?
No.
Then I give no fucks.
Anyway, I've not been this excited for a movie in a very, very long time.
Oh.
I am buzzing just thinking about it. I think it will be an excellent addition to the Marvel Cinematic Unitard. Are you ready for this?
Hey, you've not heard that in a while. Yeah.
What are your predictions for Infinite War? I'll probably write in next week to give my thoughts on it. Until then, good luck, my dears.
What was that about?
I don't know.
Where the hell did that come from?
I don't know.
How did you turn Jacob into a human bee hybrid?
I just had to do it.
It's because he's buzzing with excitement.
He's buzzing with excitement.
I'm buzzing!
I'm buzzing with excitement.
Do me a favour, in that voice, say, curse you, He-Man.
Curse you, He-Man!
Alright, I'll buy it. You're hired.
You boobs!
Yes. What was it? Our thoughts on Infinity War ahead of the thing, coming out of the thing? Flip back to side A.
What?
What was the question?
No idea.
Was it just like, what was our thoughts on Infinity War?
What are your predictions for Infinite War? We did that. We did it.
Back in time. We
did
answered
it.
your email before you even had it read out.
Yeah.
Baby cakes.
Finally,
I hope it fulfills your every wish.
friend of the show, lovely Charles.
Tiny Charles with his tiny eyes.
Lovely Charles.
Or as I like to call him, the Puppy Whisperer.
The Puppy Whisperer. Oh, his puppers.
His social media at the minute is just full of puppers.
So many puppers.
Mr. Puppers Penguins. Don't cry.
It makes me wish I wasn't allergic to dogs. It's so agonising to watch that. I just want to hold the puppers, but if I do, I'll die.
Or
I'll
at least
die.
get a sore throat.
Yeah, I'll just be really...
We'll dope you up with antihistamines, non-drowsy antihistamines before you meet them. There you go.
Ahoy, my big damn boys.
Ooh, I like the way he said it textually.
So I think it's safe to assume that you've talked at length about Venom already.
Yes.
Got to say, though it
That's
still
true.
very much doesn't look like my thing, symbiote?
That's
The
really
trailer has
symbiote.
managed to start clawing some good will back from fans, so I'll get myself out of the negative side and back on the fence.
Leave the negative zone.
Yes, no, Fox have the negative
Fox
zone, at
probably
least
have
until
it.
the ink's dry on that deal.
Yeah.
My question... That reminds me, what's going on with the X-Men movies? They've been put back like another year.
Apocalypse has been put back, I think it's 4 or 5 months.
Yeah.
New Mutants has been put back again, but no confirmed date
Yeah,
yet.
that's the next year it's coming out now.
And Deadpool...
Deadpool 2's been moved.
Deadpool 2's been moved up in a way that suggests they're like, oh, quick, let's just get this one out of the way.
Yeah, I hope that's good.
Yeah, I want it to be good
I'm a little
too.
worried about it now.
Me too.
Anyway, my question this week concerns Neil Gaiman.
Not Nihil Gaiman.
I've just started reading started reading the time that is American... I think you mean tome. I'm going to say that's a typo. The tome that is American Gods. I haven't seen the show yet, but I am thoroughly enjoying the book. I seem to remember one or both of you mentioning you'd seen the Amazon series. Is it worth me checking out? What else of Gaiman's work would you recommend to a new fan? Lots of love, Charlie. P.S. Sorry to see Broom Cupboard is on ice for now. We're very much looking forward to it. Can't wait till it's back up and running.
Yeah.
Okay.
Us too, my love. I think, tiny behind the scenes note, I think it's going to take a different incarnation before the live ones come back.
Yeah.
And that ain't no bad thing. It's just, what needs to be done needs to be done.
We need to build some awareness and maybe a bit of audience before the live show stuff.
May or may not do a live one in the meanwhile at a smaller comedy venue.
That's your domain.
Yeah,
I can't really comment on that. I can't really speak as to the validity of the claims that there may or may not be something going on, because you don't know. So I was up at 4 this morning. I'm so tired.
Are you alright?
No.
You work tomorrow as well?
No, I'm off tomorrow.
Oh, thank God. Take a breather.
But yeah,
take one of them big down breathers that you read about in the newspaper.
Neil Gaiman, American Gods. The show is very good.
The show is excellent.
You should watch it. I'm a little concerned about the second series because it's been delayed. There's been a change of hands on showrunners. Some of the cast, like Gillian Anderson's departed the show.
Has she?
Yeah, she's not coming back for the second season.
Oh, do you think it's contractual stuff?
I
they're
think
not offering the same, or
I think it's because Brian Fuller left, probably.
Oh.
Because she worked with him on Hannibal.
Yeah, of course.
So I think.
Oh, they better get her back somehow because she's a big part of why those characters and that sort of thing works.
I know the show is really good. It's a really smart adaptation of it's not even the first half of the book. Like it sets up a lot of what's to come later in the book.
Yeah, it takes its sweet time.
It takes sweet time to do it, yeah. And
it's very good though.
Yeah, they're in no hurry to finish adapting that book. Let's put it that way. But it's real good.
I think its cast is its strong point.
Oh
as
God,
well.
it's so well cast.
Everyone is excellent.
Ricky Whittle as Shadow.
Yeah, as Shadow Moon,
and Ian McShane.
Of course, Ian McShane.
Mr. Wednesday. Just. Mwah! And all the supporting players, of course, like Emily
Browning deals with a very odd thing to have to portray, and she does it so well.
Yeah, she's really good in it. It's a great show. It's
Emily Browning, the OG Violet Baudelaire.
The Og.
Yeah.
She really disturbingly,
she doesn't look any different.
Doesn't look that much older.
Yeah.
And which, considering some of the situations that she ends up in this show, is really weird. And it's just like, oh no, that doesn't. No.
Yeah, it's strange. I was like that with Sucker Punch. I mean, my first thoughts during Sucker Punch was, Christ, this is a piece of dog shit.
Yeah.
But my second thoughts were, it's weird seeing her dressed like that because she still looks like she did when she was 14.
Yeah.
This is really weird.
What else of Gaiman's work would we recommend? Definitely check out Sandman.
Mm-hmm.
Good comic books. Good times.
I need to get more Gaiman in my life, but like my favourite thing of his that I own and have revisited countless times is not even directly his. It's Coraline. It's just Henry Selick and stop motion animation.
Yeah, I'm not.
It's very different from the book.
I'm not overly familiar with the source books in question, but I really like the films of both Coraline and Stardust.
Of course, Stardust was his, wasn't it? Yeah.
I really like Stardust.
Yeah, that was the first cinematic teaming up of oh god, what's his name? Director. What's his name? Director is the guy who directed Matthew Vaughn. Matthew Vaughn and Jane Goldman. That was their first collaboration.
Yes, of course it was.
Starring Daredevil's Charlie Day.
No, Charlie Cox.
Charlie Cox. Who's Charlie Day?
Charlie Day is from It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. He's the other scientist one in Pacific Rim and Pacific Rim Uprising.
Oh yeah, he's vaguely Charlie Cox-ish.
Yeah.
Charlie Cox.
No,
starring
he
Dead. He's not.
He really isn't.
Starring. I can't really tell. I can never really see him in Pacific Rim because I'm always distracted by Gorman gurning.
Oh man, talk about overacting. I love him in
I might
those
go and
movies.
see that tomorrow. So I might go and see Uprising. I've not seen Uprising.
Oh,
yet.
it's good fun.
I might go and watch
It's good
Pacific
fun.
Rim Uprising and Rampage.
Oh, that's a double bill and a half. That is a double bill and a half. Like they're both. I think I prefer Rampage of the two, but they're both like super dumb, really stupid, thunderously loud, great fun action movies. Like they're not very good.
You just
but
sold
I
sold
them a lot.
2 tickets, which I'll be getting for free because I'm on Audio Limitless. So technically, I've already paid for enough. Of
And
that
they
membership
both sort of centre around the charisma of their respective leads in John Boyega and Dwayne The Rock. The most electrifying man in sports, cross out sports, replaced with NA Entertainment. The Rock Johnson, yeah. Dwayne The Rock Johnson. Dwayne The Rock. Johnson.
Quadruple Johnson.
So many Johnsons.
Oh god.
I need to familiarise myself with more of Neil Gaiman's written works. I still need to finish Sandman. I've read the first 5 or 6 volumes of Sandman, or 4 or 5. But I've really liked.
Have you read? Yeah, I've got volume 1 Sandman. Have you read Whatever Happened to the Cape Crusader?
Oh yes, of course.
That's Neil Gaiman, isn't it?
Yeah, that's really good.
It's only
actually.
2 issues, but it's beautiful. It basically it was released around the time of Batman R.I.P.
It was released just after R.I.P. as a little wrap up.
Yeah, because Batman doesn't die. Spoiler alert! For 10 years ago, Batman died.
Yeah,
but Batman didn't die in his book. He died in Justice League.
He died in Final Crisis.
Yeah.
Like,
so yes,
he
in
inverted commas died in Final Crisis.
He died in the exact same way Captain America died, basically.
Yeah. But that was weird, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's really strange. Both of them died in commas by time travel in the 2000s.
Whatever happens to the Cape Crusader is just a neat little sort of...
It's like an out of continuity fever dream. It's just 2 issues. So it's like a 40-page story.
A load of different versions of how Batman's story ends.
And eulogies told at his
dies.
funeral.
Yeah.
And it's an excuse for... Is it Andy Kubert?
I think it is. Or is it Adam Kubert? Andy
Kubert. It's an excuse for him to just illustrate so many different people sat at the funeral in this dingy little room in the back of a bar, based on different eras and looks of the characters. But it's Neil Gaiman basically writing the funeral of Batman.
Yeah.
And it's wonderful. It's not like strictly, it's Superman's come to say a thing. It's like, the Joker's going to say something, and now, Magpie's going to say something, and Catwoman's telling a story, and here's frickin' Roxy Rocket, and all these obscure people are here to tell their stories of, oh yeah, Batman died doing this, and here's how it happened, and, we're going to miss him, but it's implied at the very end that all of this is actually happening in Bruce's mind in the moments of his death.
Yeah.
Because it ends with a conversation between him and his mother.
Yeah.
Martha Wayne. Basically saying it's time to let go, and that's fine.
And they do that again. Tom King does it again in I Am Bane.
Yeah, there's a bit where he's talking to both of them. I think, isn't it? Like Thomas and Martha. Where
he's sort of on death's door, and he's talking to his mother, and pulls himself back from the edge.
That's in Arkham City as well.
Yeah,
when the fever nearly takes him before he does Raish's trial. Yeah. They're in the doorway. They're just silhouetted by pure light, and they're there, and they're basically saying, "Come to us, Bruce." And it's just like, oh fuck, that's a bit of a popular trope then. But Neil Gaiman does it best. Damn it! In Whatever Happened to the Cape Crusader.
So we're
available in hardback.
So we're gonna be back next week talking about Infinity War.
Yeah, we're gonna dish out the filth.
Send your thoughts to us at Big Damn Cast on Twitter, bigdamncontact@gmail.com. Please Please, if you are sending thoughts to us via Twitter, do not spoil Infinity War. If you want to talk spoilers, email us.
Yeah, don't spoil on Twitter because either we will be pissed off at you or the people who read your responses to our tweets will be pissed off at you. So don't be a dick.
Yeah.
Like, if the world could get away with not spoiling that moment from The Force Awakens online for at least 3 weeks, because that was remarkable. Like, when Force Awakens came out, the internet for like 3 or so weeks didn't even discuss.
I have no idea how I didn't get spoiled.
It's amazing.
But
like,
I've been
the
really
internet as a whole
careful.
just like went, yeah, we're not going to say anything. People obviously talked about it, but not in a big platform.
I've been really careful about my internet use over the last few.
I've been tempted to mute
last day or so.
Because Twitter now gives you the functions like mute keywords. I was
Yeah.
tempted to mute Infinity War and stuff like that. But I also want to see the press stuff. I want to see them all hanging out.
Well,
and
the
having
first
fun.
thing we're going to do after we finish recording this is I'm going to watch Movie Bob's review because it's just gone up.
Oh, meat!
So
Meet Bob's review.
yeah, come back see us next week. In the meantime, Christopher, I'm going to plant
Oh.
a thought in your brain, an idea so delicate
All
and
right,
so
Darren
deep
Brown. Okay.
that you're going to think it came from your own mind, and it's going to
wow.
be all you can think about until you see it realised.
Oh, cool. Okay. Hit me.
Neil Gaiman writing a Doctor Strange ongoing.
Wait, is this happening?
No.
Where are you going?
I'm just.
No, hang on. I want that.
I'm just leaving you with that thought.
I want that, though.
I'm leaving you with that thought.
No.
I'm going to walk out this door.
No.
And I'm not going to come back.
Can you have a word with
until you
him?
make it happen.
Can you speak with his publicist?
I don't know him. You're the famous one.
I don't know Neil Gaiman. I bumped into him.
Why don't you know Neil Gaiman?
I genuinely bumped into him once in the lobby of a cinema.
Why don't you know Neil
The
Gaiman?
new Beverly Cinema in California. I was in the same room as him, and I said, "Excuse me," because I was in his way. That's it. I've got to invent a time machine and go back and convince him to do a Doctor Strange
Get him to
ongoing.
write that ongoing.
Okay. I don't have to get to it.